Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Professor Smooth Jazz Interviews. I'm George Walker, president of KUAW Radio, and I want to invite you to like and subscribe to KUAW Radio. You can pick us up on Facebook and YouTube and on our website, KUAW.org. And now, let's join the conversation with Professor Smooth Jazz and today's guest.
KUAW listening audience, this is Professor Smooth Jazz of KUAW with the Smooth Jazz Radio Show, and you can catch my Smooth Jazz Music Show every Thursday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., and again Friday, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. But today, doing this interview on KUAW, Kansas City, Missouri, we are with Dean Grech, jazz guitarist, vocalist, composer. Dean, how are you doing? Say hello to the audience.
Good. How are you guys doing? Yeah.
Thank you for taking this opportunity for a live recorded interview.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for having me. And once again, thank you for keeping, jazz alive. I mean, it's the music of our nation, right?
Yeah, you say it's universal, because I know I have listeners from all over. And just on when the guys had me on 90.1, and I was telling about smooth jazz, how it's influenced by rock, blues, jazz, different R&B, different types of music. Also, we had a guy, Shunzo, calling, and he's Japanese, but he lives in New York, and how when I tell some of the listeners or some of my friends, man, they play jazz in Japan. This artist from Japan. I said, oh man, they from all over Russia. I said,
yeah.
You name it, man. And a lot of the artists, even though they play smooth jazz, they know who Charlie Parker is.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times,
I mean, Indonesia, Japan, those people have big audiences there for jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a guitar, when you talk about guitars, that's Wes Montgomery comes up.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that guy. I mean, there is not a person, especially if they've been influenced or wanted to play jazz, that's been influenced by Wes Montgomery. Everybody from Pat Metheny to George Benson to Norman Brown to, Joe Bonamassa. I mean, rock blues players like Eric Clapton. I mean, Peter Frampton has a thing where he talks about Wes Montgomery.
Yeah. So
he's influenced every single guitar player.
So when did your interest or your music career start? What age?
Well, my first gig I did when I was 11 years old, believe it or not. It was at a PTA meeting. And I got paid $12.
Oh man. Okay, so when did you start? Was your first choice of instrument a guitar?
Yeah, it was. My parents had a piano. We had a piano in the house, but I was a kid, 6, 7 years, 8 years old, and that piano just looked like a piece of furniture to me. It didn't look like a musical instrument, So I was never interested in the piano, which I regret now, but
So when you first, so how did you get interested in the guitar?
Well, I'd see groups. I never actually became a big Elvis Presley fan, but when I'd see these, watching TV, you'd see Elvis playing his guitar, and then you'd see these Beatles clips and, whatever, the Partridge Family, all these little shows that you watch, as a kid. And they'd all have guitars strapped around their necks.
That's right. The guitar is something you can carry with you. Not like a piano. Yeah. Well, they got keyboards now that you can, but back then, man, you got to have a moving
piano. So then I started asking for a guitar, when I was a little kid, and my parents said, "Okay, well, Christmas time comes around about 8 months later. if you still want to play, we'll get you. They got me just a little $30 acoustic guitar, you know, for Christmas. And that was it, man. I didn't put it down.
Okay, so we were talking about some of your influences and about these albums you got as a gift. Now, what were those albums again? You said
Well, you know, I was playing rock and I was studying some classical guitar, but I really kind of kept wanting to, you know, learn more. So a friend of my dad's who was a piano player, he stopped by. He goes, "I have something for you," and he brought me a big stack of jazz albums, and mostly jazz guitar albums. And I started sifting through those, and you know, the two that really caught my ear was Wes Montgomery and a guy named Johnny Smith, a guitarist named Johnny Smith. And just as you know, every other guitarist in the world, you know, has been influenced, especially by Wes Montgomery. I mean, you can listen to that guy play all day and all night, never get tired of him. And you know, I didn't know who Wes Montgomery was from The Man in the Moon. You know, I mean, I'd never heard of him or seen him, but once I heard that guy play, man, it was just like, it was infectious. You know, I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to know how to play like that. You know, well, I never learned how to play like that because no one can play like Wes, but a lot of people want to.
But so you had a little classical experience too, didn't you?
Yeah, I studied classical guitar with a renowned guitarist. His name's Ray Della Torre, and he, you know, fortunately for me and unfortunately for him, when he was in his late 30s, when his career was really flourishing, he had done albums with Andrei Segovia. He was the first person to perform the Concerto di Aranjuez. A lot of jazz players have recorded that with, I think, the Philadelphia Philharmonic. Well, he got this atrophy in his hand where he couldn't move his hands that well. So he quit giving concerts and started teaching lessons and moved to the San Francisco area. And I was in Sacramento as a kid then. And I, you know, signed on with him to study with him, which was beautiful for me. I mean, that was like one of the most amazing experiences of my life, you know.
Okay, so when you started on the road, well, you were pretty young, weren't you? But you just said wasn't playing jazz, though. Huh?
Well, I went to, you know, I think I was probably 18, and I went to Berklee School of Music, you know, in Boston. And I, you know, I mean, I love playing, and like a lot of other musicians, I locked myself in my room, you know, I just practice. And one of the guitar instructors that I had, he said, "You need to get to LA, man. That's the place you need to be, is LA." And he just kept telling me that. Finally, I said, "Well, I guess I'm going to LA." So I came to LA. I had a few friends out here. A fellow named Rick Shaw, who played with Johnny Mathis for years, you know. These guys were nobody back then, you know, but and so I stayed with them for some bands and got a gig with this band called Click, KUAW. They were an R&B band. They were on MCA Records. They had their first album out. And we got signed on with Frankie Beverly and with Chaka Khan, when she had that Chaka Khan album out. And we did shows with Frankie and Chaka and George Duke, Stanley Clarke, and God, you know, just all these amazing musicians. So I was a kid and I just got thrown into that, and I was like, I'm a rock star, man. Well, I got some realities after that, of course, as we do in the music business.
So now you said, I was looking at some facts on your website. You were employed by Disney company, one of the Disney companies or something?
Oh yeah. So I had done, you know, the Click tours, and then I toured with another band. It was an English band called A Flock of Seagulls. They were an 80s band, and then I was around doing shows and just gigs and sessions and stuff. And then I got on with Disney. They had Disney Radio. I'm not sure if Disney Radio is still around, but they took over Hollywood Records, and they took over all the artists. and they had a bunch of artists, and I got on playing guitar with Disney doing their tours with all their young artists, you know. So that was a wonderful experience too, you know, beautiful. You know, we did lots of shows all over the United States. They were called world tours, but we never traveled outside the United States.
Okay. So now, you know, I think the first time I spun a selection, you were featured on Rick Parma, some of his music. And I think that's when I first saw.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorite. Well, see, Rick had this song called Chocolate Cake.
Oh, yeah. I helped him write that, yeah.
But when I spun the song, and so when I played this on one of the other radio stations I sent out the playlist. So I had went to this Costantino's downtown. I usually get breakfast or something, and so they had all these different chocolate cakes. So I took the next time I took pictures of them or something like that. I took pictures of them, and so when I sent out my playlist, I always have a label for each playlist. So I said chocolate cake, and then at the bottom I took pictures of this chocolate cake. These different chocolate cakes that they had all fixed up. So that's why.
Is that the ones he used? Is that what he used on his cover?
But since he was talking about chocolate cake,
oh yeah,
I think the girl was tasting a piece of chocolate cake. So I took pictures of these, and I bought me a piece too. And
that was a fun too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I had done a couple albums prior to that, so on my own, but maybe you didn't get a hold of them. But with Eric Marienthal, yeah.
Oh, see, so I'm gonna have to go back because man, he's one of my favorite sax players, Eric Marienthal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Greg Vale, I got a Christmas song with Greg.
Yeah, Greg
did really well.
Greg. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see you have a jazz Christmas tune or something that you on the first. Yeah. Okay.
There's a tune called "Shake It Around" that has Greg on it too that I did. Was a really fun song. Yeah, I've had a lot of tunes out, but there's a lot of great musicians out there. You know, we kind of get lost in the clouds.
And so, when I first started spinning some of your music was through Adam. So how'd you meet Adam?
Adam, well, I started with I think the Goroff family. I did
okay, yeah. Cliff and
Adam was working for them, and he was local, and a lot of guys that I knew him, so he was close by. So I kind of developed a relationship with Adam, and I love Adam. Adam's great, man. You know. So and then he helped me push that first single it was called "Funky Talk" with Eric Marienthal. It's a beautiful tune. And then if you get a chance, pull it up sometime.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of snowballed. Yeah. Snowballed from there. And, you know, we just keep on doing it, man. That's what we do, what we love, right?
Yeah. Now, was Michelle Chase was with KUAW when you
you know, I was just there for just a short time. And then it was like, you know, and then I switched over to Adam. And like I said, it was nothing that they did or didn't do. It's just that Adam was local, and I got to know him personally. So I went, you know what, I'll have you do my stuff.
Yeah, because Michelle is with him now, and so but she was with the Smooth Jazz radio station, the first one we kind of had here, and so that's why I kind of met her, and that's why I learned about a lot of jazz musicians overseas, and some of those names I remember when the station, when they changed the format. Well, had to go out and buy my own CDs. So,
oh my God!
If you told me how you spell Marienthal, I couldn't just put it right out there. But when I was looking in the jazz music selection, and we used to have a great jazz selection CDs and things like that in most of the music stores, but now you mostly have to buy online. You know, CDs are most people doing MP3s and other media, you know, things. So
I know it's hard. It's even hard for us as during last summer, I was doing some shows with Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins. You know that those guys are. And oh shoot, Okay. Oh, are we on commercial or something?
No, you're back. You're back. Your
Okay.
picture had kind of went off there.
So yeah, and you know, they weren't even selling CDs on their merch table. I mean, because people really aren't buying CDs that much anymore, you know. Although some people still like to have a CD and feel it, you know. But yeah, and you know, there's mostly streaming, you know, or listening to stations, which is, but yeah, it's harder to make to monetize your money, that's for sure these days, you know. So you have to go out and do gigs, which I'm doing a lot of gigs these days.
Yeah. So, but when I was going, I looked at the name and I said, "That's it right there." You know, because I looked Marion, I was like, "That's him, that's him right there." So some of them I had to look and see. I didn't necessarily know how to spell their names, but she used to play Nelson Rangel and Andy Snitzer, those some of the sax players. But a lot of the guitarists Bob Baldwin, you know, I used to hear. I used to remember the names and say, "Oh, I need to remember that name." Sometimes I'll write them down, you know, so I wouldn't forget them. Now,
so many great.
Okay. I say, but you also have vocal skills. Now we've been talking about your music, but
that was by chance, man. When I got back off the road doing those tours, I started playing with a couple of local guys, and we were doing Vegas shows and Vegas gigs and club gigs, you know, just like everybody does, man, in between, you know, and a couple of the guys took off with some touring bands, and they were the singers. So I'm like, man, I got to pay my bills. So I started having to open my mouth, and at first it wasn't going that well, but because I just got thrown into it and had to start singing, you know, within 6 months to a year, I just started figuring it out, you know. It's just like started singing, and then here we go. Now people go, "Oh my God, I love your voice." And I'm a guitar player, you know, but you know, I just did a gig with Greg Vale actually this last on 2 days ago. We did a show down here, and I just get these compliments on my voice, and I'm like, you know, I'm thinking about my guitar playing, not my voice, you know. But so now I do tunes like that, All My Lovin', I covered that, and I just figure, you know, some of the tunes now I just put other instruments on it because I don't know if that's good or bad, but a lot of times when I hear guitar or saxophone players and I hear their albums, they smother their whole albums with themselves, which is great, but I figure maybe give a little variety, you know.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. But we were talking about CD sales, but I noticed that most of the venues from the last, well, I guess before the pandemic, man, I guess because of Kansas City, we don't have a lot of venues, so a lot of the artists come. Some people maybe never heard of, but man, those CDs sell out. Because I was waiting for this one artist, and he said, "Man, I should have brought more." Yeah, they do pretty good. But that's because, you know, you're in California, so they probably see more jazz artists, more venues. I mean, before the pandemic, so they're more aware of and know the names, know the jazz artists. So the artists that come here, some people may have never heard of them, and then the age of the attendance, some don't always use the electronic.
Right. Yeah, they like CDs. Yeah.
So they like a CD.
Yeah, you're right. You know, that's it.
I was telling someone they had called in on a show and wanted to know the name, and I said, "Well, you know, you have to probably get this from somewhere, Amazon or, you know, you have to go to their website." Well, yeah, I don't do all that computer stuff. I don't, you know. So, but I couldn't do my show. I can't do a radio show without access to computers.
I know. It's all computers, you know. I mean, I imagine back in the day, it was albums, and then I'd go into radio stations that have CDs lined up, and now you probably just put everything on MP3s and stream them through your MP3s. I'd imagine. I don't know.
Yeah. And so now on one of my shows at 90.1, I use CDs, but that's the music that I'm gonna spin, you know. And one reason why is I use two. So once that stops, I get a name, I got the next one going.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I use those, because man, that I played 26 to 27 songs, 25 somewhere in 2 hour span with my spots. So man, you gotta
Yeah.
you can't be waiting as soon as that. So sometimes I'm hitting that button right when I'm telling that ending the name of that song. I got the button and it gets on, you know.
If you got to run to the bathroom, you got to make it quick.
Oh, long songs. You always get a 6 minute, 5 minute song, and that's usually when I started off. I gotta and you enter your music. I told them I enter that music in Spinitron to record. You know, nowadays with the radio station, that you have to track any songs you play.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, what's nice, man, and I have to thank you and some of the other people that keep it going, because so many of our stations have closed down. Like a lot of the jazz stations have folded up, you know, and it's really sad because people love jazz, and when you play a show, people come, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stations just aren't, you know, they just aren't staying out. They aren't staying out there, you know.
Yeah, but I noticed that I have to. It's great that I do give that information. I give the artist the name of the selection and the album, because if I don't, I know I have more phone calls.
Yeah.
Because someone say, "Now, what did you say that? What you know?
Yeah. So when you post it, yeah.
Yeah. So, and some of those,
you know, and Facebook and all that helps. I mean, a lot of people don't like Facebook. I like it. It keeps up on everything. It's great for you. It's great for us. It keeps, you know, and you don't have to do that thing. You can look at that and go, oh, wow, okay, they're playing those tunes. And you always have a nice selection of music on your shows, which is, it's beautiful, man. You know, I love it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Because some say, you play vocals. And I was like, well, sure, you know, because I want to give a variety, different selections from different artists from different places. I like to kind of
that's the hard thing about that's the hard thing about some of the smooth jazz stations. They don't like the vocal stuff so much, but you know, so I mean, I do instrumental tunes too, and maybe my next single will be an instrumental tune, just to, you know, but yeah, you think back of some of the greatest jazz performers or vocalists, you know, I mean, especially, you know, and people go, who's a good jazz vocalist? Well, hands down, Ella Fitzgerald. And then we can go from there, you know, Mel Torme, Ella Fitzgerald are the top of the list. Then we go from there.
Yeah. So, you know, you talking about your R&B experience. Well, Mr. Walker, besides running the radio show, and where our radio show was located is in the W.B. Du Bois Learning Center. So we tutor kids there in math, science, reading.
Oh, wow.
And Mr. Walker has the Black Family Technology. And so he also does the robotics and Lego. They have competitions and things like that.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
how this radio station kind of started out. And actually, one of my students, she was in the 2nd grade, and Kennedy was her name, and she had Mr. Walker had her have her own little public affairs show. A little 2nd grader on there with her little man.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I was so proud of her. So despite doing all this and church activities, Deacon, he has a radio show, old school, DJ Scatter. He said back in the day. See?
Yeah.
And actually, we went to the same high school together. I didn't figure this out until someone had mentioned it, you know. And I actually knew him in high school.
Oh, wow. Isn't that crazy?
But you know how it's been so long. I graduated in 72. So until I looked at the yearbook, I said, oh, I remember you. Man, I used to talk to you all the time. You know, don't you remember me?
Don't even tell me about yearbooks, man. I went to one of my high school reunions, and the guy that I went to see was sitting right next to me, and I was looking all over for him. And then I looked at his name tag.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, and also a coincidence. I was telling him I was in this. We had this hot rod club, and so I was one of the youngest ones there. And I had a '67 GTX and built the engine and transmission. And so Mr. Walker, he said, one of my friends, I used to work with him, and when he told me, he said, yeah, I remember him. Mr. Walker used to come up there, and when he told me what kind of car he had, a Z, like, I don't know if it was a 280 or 260 or 280, but I was telling him, oh, I remember you. You're the only one that came up there with a foreign car, but I know those were fast cars. So yeah, it was kind of funny that all that, we had past experiences, and when I first saw him at the Learning Center, I just knew him as Mr. Walker, and I didn't think
so. And it's nice that you guys do that. It's so, I mean, it's so great, that you put yourself out there. I mean, helping the kids and doing the shows. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication,
Oh yeah. And he also, if you want some training with the radio station or programming and stuff, he's available.
I'm spread so thin, right? I had a guy out here was trying to help me to get to that. I mean, I am spread so thin right now between, some of my gigs that I do too, I have to drive 2 and 3 hours to them a lot of times, even if they're just local. And it's, and then you're always working on music and you're always working on organizing. It's a lot of it. To make a living as a musician is not just like, oh, just show up and move your fingers around and smile and leave, Yeah,
I know Joyce Spencer, she's a saxophonist, and she had wrote about how much they make off the music, but how much it cost to produce and all this, and getting.
Oh my God, you just spend years,
promoters,
years on the albums, and then the same with gigs. You're buying equipment. I have so many guitars and so many amplifiers and PA systems and strings and it's just microphones and pedals. It's like so much stuff invested. And I said, I go, man, these guys would grab a laptop, jump in their BMW, and drive off to work and make $250,000 a year, man. Woof, why didn't I do that?
But you know what? Sometimes if you got to enjoy what you're doing if you're going to stick with it.
That's right.
You know what? I said you might get tired of that corporate world.
Oh, I know.
It might not stick with it.
I have to say, I have to say, every time I pick up my instrument and start playing, it's just, it's joyful. And it's just something that I dreamt about doing when I was a little kid. I dreamt about playing music and making a living. I didn't think about making a living. I just dreamt about playing music because I didn't know what making a living was.
Yeah.
And to just be able to do that every day of my life and pay my way through this world has just been beautiful, man. It's just been a really great life and a great experience. I couldn't ask for more.
Well, thank you. I had emails on my playlist house. Some of these listeners called and they said, man, they had a bad week and they wake up early in the morning and they listen to you guys play and they said, you don't know how good that makes them, feel after the week they went through or what they're going through, and to listen to your music is so soothing,
I know, man. That's it. It just, music is brings you that peace. It takes you to another little place for a while. It's an escape.
Yeah.
So
now I can't play any, but I really enjoy listening to different instruments and music, especially the smooth jazz. And it's something it's and a couple of younger guys heard some of my music. And they, oh man, who is that? Who is that? And so there was even some. I remember Hidden Beach came out with a lot of their hip hop stuff that the jazz musicians did, and so some of the vocals they only use so many of the lines. So one of this young guy, he was like 19, 20 or something like that. He said, "Man, I listened to that," and he says, I like it because when you're in the car with your mama," he said, "she don't mind listening to that, but he can't the music because, so he said, oh man, I love that." He said, she said, I like this,
Well, I find that what happens is people go, I don't like jazz. I don't listen to jazz. I don't like jazz. And then when they start hearing it, or you start playing it, then all of a sudden they go, "Oh, is that jazz?" You go, "Yeah, this is jazz." You know, they go, "Oh, I like that." You know,
Yeah,
so it's that kind of thing. People have this preconceived notion, and it's really nice right now because I'm seeing a lot of younger musicians playing jazz.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
you're
of
not
younger
kidding.
musicians.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So,
and it's really nice. People go, "Well, you know, jazz will die." I go, "Jazz." I mean, Jimmy Smith said on one of his records, I forget what it was. I think it was the one with George Benson, and he talked at the end of it. I think he said, "Jazz is the only real music, and it's never going to die. This is the only real music there is." You know, something to that effect.
and so it's because of just when I was given a definition of on the radio show, someone invited me, and I said my show's a lot different. It's not traditional. And then I was giving them definitions of smooth, contemporary. Bob Baldwin's got urban jazz. They got, what is it, soul jazz. So I was giving them some of the definitions and some of the influences that it has. And so some of the younger people were like me, the different types of music I listen to. So that's why I took onto smooth jazz, because I hear some of those influences in the music that I listen to. Because it covers everything.
I think the label smooth jazz kind of probably is not a great name for it, because it kind of people go, "Oh, I don't, that's like elevator music or whatever, you know, we don't want to listen to that."
Yeah.
And
but
then when they dig it, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when they do listen to it, they might think that it's just smooth. But man, it's funky. It's, you know, they got these bass guitarists, and man, I'm telling you, the drums, and
there's some great, some just amazing musicians, man, that are out there and that are, you know, recording artists and stuff that you play, I'm sure, and guys that I know, you know, they're just all the artists, they're just so good. And I play with a lot of these guys, and I see them, or I do shows with them, and I'm just like, man, I admire the people that I'm working with. They're just such great, talented people, you know. It's an honor, you know. So it's fun.
Just like that song that you did with Rick Palmer, Chocolate Cake. Man, that sounds like in the 70s. You know, it's kind of like the Lakeside, well, not like Lakeside, what was it? Brass Construction, or, you know, some of those.
Oh yeah, I know.
The Express
or
something like that, because of the horns and everything, you know.
Yeah. I helped him record that. Hey, I wrote half of the tune with him, you know. So it was like, yeah, we played that together. When it got to the guitar part, it smoothed out a little bit. Then it went back into the other stuff, you know. But yeah, that was a fun tune. I really like that song, you know.
Yep. So, is there any other thing you'd like to tell our audience? I know you have a website where you can be reached to find out, since some of these venues are starting to open up now.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you'll have your schedule posted on there. But
I do. And if you just type in my name, Dean Grech, Grech, just how it sounds, don't add T's or anything else. You know, that my website will come up, and I usually have a schedule on there. And a lot of times now it's going to change, but I've been doing a lot of solo performances, just playing by myself at a lot of these places. And I've done, you know, I've opened shows like that where I've played with Dave KUAW, Dave Sanborn, you know, Michael McDonald, you know, Jay Leno. I've opened his shows just playing solo guitar. So I got pretty good at it. So a lot of times I just do solo stuff. And then now it's going to be nice because the band venues are going to start opening up. And I miss playing with bands. You know, I love playing with other instruments, you know, other musicians. So I did my first band gig this last week, and it was so fun, you know. So yeah, go to my website, you know, it's all the stuff's on Amazon. I got a new album coming out. So that's the first single that you play, All My Lovin'. There's a little video up on it, and yeah, have fun with it, you know, enjoy it.
Okay, it's funny you mentioned Dave KUAW, because I finally looked at his April Fool's joke he sent out. I don't know if you got that, but I'm gonna have to send it to you. But you know, Dave is a jokester. That's what I call him, the jokester. So I finally looked at it, because when I received it, it said, "You really want to know who the real Dave KUAW is?" And so I got to thinking. I said, I looked and said, "Oh, it's April." I said, "It's April 1st." I said, "Oh no, I'm not opening this. I know this is April Fool's Day. I can't let him know that he got me on April Fool's." So I saw it on I posted on LinkedIn too, because and so there were people that were saying, "Oh man, this is an April Fool's joke. Oh man, he got me. I should have." And I was looking at all the people he tricked. But I'm gonna have to send it to you. But I just didn't open it.
That'd be funny.
I told some of the jazz I said, "Yeah, you guys open it up and tell me what the joke's about, because I don't want him to know that he's that he got me. So I always have to watch out for him, especially around April Fool's. So I'm gonna have to send that to you. It's funny. You have to see it.
Send it to me. Email it to me.
Oh
God, thank you.
The last one he sent was really funny. It was something about he had this new CD. I know he didn't have a new single, and it was called Rest. And so when he got ready to play the saxophone, they showed him laying in the bed with a saxophone sleep, because he's saying he was so tired. Yeah, but waiting for yeah.
I'll have to check that
out. He
never
played the sax. He just showed him, and then he was laying in the bed sleep. Talking about how tired he was.
I like your backdrop there with the meters and the name of the station. It's nice.
Oh yeah, Mr. Walker. Yeah, I think that's our new one. Yeah,
it looks great.
So we want to thank Mr. Walker for taking the time, because I think next Friday he's going fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he likes to go fishing.
Oh, awesome, man.
So and then we got the Memorial Day coming up. So you have a nice week, a nice holiday, and hope you get back in that employment mode.
Oh, he's been hiding out. There he is now.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and I really appreciate you playing my music, and I appreciate you playing all the music and everyone else's music. I can't even thank you enough for doing that. It's beautiful.
All right, so
thank you, man.
So you have a nice day.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you later. I'll send you that email too.
Yeah, send it to me. That'd be great. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Hello, Kansas City, and welcome again to Smooth Jazzin' with Professor Smooth Jazz on KUAW. You can catch my jazz music radio show on Thursdays 3 times.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Walker, the continuation came in and said this meeting is being recorded. I didn't know if that would be in on mine, so I'm gonna have to start over again. Okay. Hello, Kansas City and the KUAW listeners. This is Professor Smooth Jazz, and you can catch my Smooth Jazz music show every Thursday 3 times, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., and again Friday 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. But today we have a special guest on my Smooth Jazz interview show, saxophonist Charles Langford. Charles, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ricky. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview. And if you'd like to say hello to the Kansas City and KUAW audience.
Hey, KUAW, how y'all people doing? It's good to be here. Hope you check out KUAW Professor. It's me, Jay.
So have you ever had a chance to come to Kansas City?
I've been to Kansas City years ago with this recorded down there, and actually in Salina, Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've only been through. I haven't spent any time there.
Okay. Now, looking from information on your webpage, you were born in Texarkana, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but since then you're living in a different
area I live in
now.
Massachusetts now.
Okay, so how long have you been in Massachusetts?
Well, we moved here when I was a kid. When my family moved to, I was about 2 or 3 when we left Texas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't remember too much about Texarkana, huh?
No, nothing. Hot. I remember going there and having heat stroke.
Well, now living in Kansas City, my family's Oklahomans. So I do know about those, what do you call them? Those fire ants.
Oh yeah.
I learned one time. And after that, my great grandpa told me, whatever you do, stay away from that anthill. And a couple of times he saw me, he said, "Now I told you stay away from that anthill." So when he went looking, I thought if I could stomp on the anthill, move my feet as fast as I could, they wouldn't get on me. But I don't know. They didn't look like they could fly, boy, but they was all on me, man. I was pulling my pants. After that, I was 10 feet away from.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, every time I walk, where's it at? I think I was about sixth grade or something, or 6th grade or something like that. But oh yeah, I was watching out. So so I know about. I was like, man, how can people live there with something like as dangerous as fire ants?
Oh yeah, no, you can't mess with it.
I want to mess with it. And snakes and everything else. Okay, so you said you grew up in a musical family?
Yeah, my mom's a singer, and yeah, she would sing around. She sang for Martin Luther King when she was at Bishop College.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got a famous family, huh?
Oh no, I don't know about that, but I mean, I just got an uncle though, a cousin rather, that he sang with Stevie Wonder, Jim Gilstrap. He was with Stevie for a minute.
See, it's all coming out. It's all coming
out. Yeah,
right. Okay, so according to your website, you are one of Boston's area's top A-list players. Man, see, you're famous. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to win, but I ain't famous. No, I mean I go do gigs around town and calls and hang out with cats and just try to play music. That's all.
Right, because there's a lot of since I've been doing these interviews, man, there's a lot of people live in the Boston area. It's still there, and
there's a lot of great musicians out there.
Yeah. So when did you start your music interest?
I started when I was. I started playing when I was in 4th grade. I've been playing for over 40 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my first love was Grover Washington and Paul Desmond from Dave Brubeck. Those are my first musicians I really gravitated towards. Was that kind of music. Grover was my man for a while.
Yeah. It was I was just given a definition on one of the other radio shows that a DJ invited me to about my show, and I told him it was different from traditional smooth jazz, contemporary, urban soul jazz. But when I gave the definition of the smooth jazz and those different genres that it's influenced by, when I was looking up the definition, they called Grover, the Godfather.
Oh yeah.
Of Mr. Magic, yeah, that was.
I mean, that's tragic, Mr. Tragic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's yeah. Him, Sanborn, that Grover.
Oh yeah.
Grover's the man. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when did you take up the saxophone?
So
is that your first interest?
Yep, that was my first instrument. I started when I was 9.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a minute. And I started when I was 9.
So you played all the saxes, well, tenor, alto, soprano, clarinet, and flute.
Yeah. Yeah, but you won't see. Now you won't. I played clarinet on some shows, but I don't break that suckers. Yeah, if you don't stay on it, it's something.
Oh, it's a lot different.
Oh yeah. Well, they all are demanding, but the clarinet is not. That's not my first instrument, so it's. I get intimidated by that thing if I don't play it.
So when you pick that up then? I
picked it up. I don't know. I was doing this Broadway show, and they asked me if I played clarinet, and I said yeah, and I never touched it. So I picked it up over the summer, a few years ago. About maybe 10 years ago, I picked it up. Yeah, maybe 10, 12 years ago. So,
man, so see, you just talented. That's what.
Oh no, just hard-headed and trying to make some money.
Trying to make some money. Got to pay the bills, huh?
Oh yeah, got to stay in it. Yeah.
So you said, we had talked about some of your education so you got your degree from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Is that Amherst?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, see, the only reason I've never been to Amherst, but I've kind of heard about it on television shows. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
What the show was about,
Amherst,
but I just.
Mass had a good music program. A lot of great jazz musicians teaching there. Dr. Billy Taylor, Max Roach started the program, and a great drummer from New York City. And Archie Shepp, one of my teachers, and Yusuf Latif, a lot of great musicians.
Oh, okay. So when you majored in music in your college level, so what are some of for you to graduate, let's say, do you have to perform in front of
you had to
instructors? I mean, so what does that consist of?
I mean, it was a lot of, we had to do classical music as well. So that was something new. And I wasn't really into it in the beginning, it's doing classical music. My mentor, this guy Majid, Charles Greenlee, he was I remember complaining, saying, I got to do this classical stuff. And he was like, well, you got to do it. It's music. All the greats have done it. Charlie Parker and John Coltrane, they practice classical music. Marsalis, so I stuck my teeth in it. And it was a great experience, very humbling.
So some of these requirements you have to play in front of, who all do you play in front of?
I mean, you have to play in front of your classmates, and and they're all musicians, so they're going to be critiquing everything you do. I can do that better than that. I can do that, You know how to do
that. Okay. Yeah. So now we also talked about the new school. What's the new school for social research?
Oh yeah, that's school in New York City. It's a great school. I loved when I went there. I was only there for a year, but I met a lot of greats. I studied with George Coleman and I met Donald Byrd. I used to do private lessons with him. We used to go to New Jersey, and I got to play with him, and it was just great experiences. In New York.
Okay, so you've been writing. So you've been writing music at what early age then?
I started in high school writing music, but not, I didn't really know what I was doing. Still kind of don't, but I like what I hear. I try to do what I hear, and I just trying to get better at it. It's one of those things you just got to keep doing. That's what Duke Ellington. I was reading something about Duke, And he was saying that, you know, just even if it's not perfect, you just keep writing, you know. Just keep writing.
So I was looking here. Are you teaching composition? And
I don't teach composition, but I do. I have studied composition.
oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, so you said you wasn't a writer. So, well, what did your television? Tell me about your television experience.
Oh yeah, I do. I write. Yeah, I've got some placements on The Young and the Restless. I do. You know, I've been
okay.
there for a few years. The soap opera. So, and after they played something of mine today. You know, so.
I'm finding out there are a lot of jazz musicians who do a lot of things for television. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to watch this because maybe I didn't pay attention when I was watching it though. Oh, yeah. The music, I'm gonna have to start checking out the credits and everything.
Yeah, Quincy, a lot of people, a lot of cats. Yeah, you know, TV, film. Terrence Blanchard, he's doing stuff. You know, he's doing a lot of stuff on TV.
Oh, okay, so you look rather young looking. So you said you played with some of the, was it the Temptations?
Oh yeah. He's a homeboy. He's from what's his name? Otis. He's from Texarkana too. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's the only, I think, the last original. Yeah.
Okay. And so, also Norman Connors. Oh yeah.
With Norman Connors back.
Melvin Sparks. Okay. Now Solomon Burke.
Yeah.
Solomon Burke.
Oh yeah.
That's back in the day, man. You look too young, man. How old you then?
No, I played with him
10, 11, 12, 13.
I worked with him like before he passed away. You know, I worked with him for a few years. We played Central Park and a lot of different gigs. I worked with Solomon. He's wonderful, wonderful man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, so you know, it's kind of funny. I saw Norman Connors here, man, and so on LinkedIn. Me and Michael Henderson, you know, we're connected. Right. So it was his birthday or something. And I was telling him that I did like an old school show or something, and I was played with me. And I said it was kind of funny because someone was asking. They says, "Hey, I can't find You're My Starship by Norman Connors," and so I said, "But that was Michael Henderson that was." Kind of introduced, I think, on that selection. And so most people, because it was produced, Norman Connors, you know, he did something and produced it. But I was saying that's why you can't find it, because it's probably look under Michael Henderson.
Oh yeah. And what he did Norman? He started
play bass.
Phyllis Hyman too, right?
Yeah. So now tell me about your new CD. This one's called Powerless.
Powerless, yeah.
And the song I had been spinning was Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I think I had when I first got the music, so I played. That's the first song I listened to, and so I said, "Oh, this is the one I'm gonna spin first." So anyway, I said, "Well, I better check," you know. I think Blue Canoe sent me that. So I checked with them. I said, which one would you like me to spin? And they said, Bliss. I said, oh, great, because that's the one I had played on.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Me and my buddy wrote that. The piano player on there, Mark Rasmussen, and Lon Trotman's on that song, and
okay.
Jimmy Haslip on bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Jimmy Brandley on drums. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I met Elon, and he came here, and Jimmy came. Who did Jimmy come with? Did he come with Jeff? Hold on, wait. I'm trying to see.
Maybe Jeff Lobert. Yeah.
I don't know if he. Oh, I know what happened. It was. I think. I'm trying to think of her name. Carol Duboc.
Oh yeah.
I think she was here, and since Jeff had composed that song or something, but I know I met Jimmy Haslip, so I was thinking maybe he came with him. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, and I think Carol DeBach came with him or something like that too. Man, but now Jeff, his nickname is "Am I on your CD?" Because I know he can remember all that music that he produces and he plays.
Oh,
He can't remember all that because I can't remember all of it. All I know is there he is again.
He's done so much music, so much. Yeah, so much.
Yeah. And so the guitarist Paul Brown, I call him Popular Paul.
Oh yeah. He's on everybody's stuff too.
Yeah. So when did you get interested in smooth jazz?
I mean,
contemporary.
I grew up listening to it. You know, I grew up with, you know, Grover, David Sanborn, Kenny G, you know, all of that. You know, that's what I grew up with, and I always, and it's always been in my heart. You know, I always love it. You know, so I know a lot of people talk about it, you know, but I love it. I love it. You know.
Yeah. And so when I was given my definition of smooth jazz, I said it covers all the a lot of genres. So that's if I even wanted to listen to hip hop, there's jazz musicians that have guys, you know, spitting on their music, and plus it's something I can play on the radio without editing or hitting the 7-second delay. So I just let it, you know, you can let it roll. I'll listen to all my music before I play it, but still, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm listening to it, but, you know, nothing to worry there about hitting it, because I'm like, man, I hate hitting it. You know, I've never used a delay, but since I've been DJing, because I don't have to. So I was saying, man, if I ever had to use that delay, but, you know, because I have done some other shows, you know, filled in for someone, and, you know, man, okay, I think I know how to do this. Okay, so what is some of the inspiration that you get for your music? I mean, how do you go about? Does it take you? How long does it take to come up
to write a tune?
Yeah, to write and to produce a whole CD. You know.
It's taken me a while for this record. I was working on the music over the last couple of years, but I was like, since the pandemic hit last year, I had more time at home, so got to finish it. You know, so that was a blessing. You know, having that blessing and a curse. You know, miss work. You know, but it's a blessing too. You know.
Yeah, I know, because I've been so busy with all the new music, and that I don't know if you got that new list that I just sent out.
Yeah, you sent out the
one I just sent out But man, there were a couple of women, 2 new bass players that I'd never heard of, and it's a young lady. Now she's kind of vocal too, but her name was Imani Lauren or something like that. That was my first time, but man, she had a couple of selections on there. So man, there are a lot of young people who are playing contemporary smooth jazz. You know, a lot of you, and so it's so much new music. Most of the time, even on my Saturday morning 90.1 show, I play 25 to 26 selections. I have to, some of the selections I have to wait till the next week. And then when I get to the next week, I'm looking like, whoa, I got to get this on because I don't want to get behind. So then now I got to put,
yes, sir.
Got to put this down. So it's just a lot of new music. Now, did you have any venues before the pandemic that you had to cancel?
Before the pandemic, I can't even remember, but like what we were doing.
I know it's been like actually it's been more than a year, because
I think the last thing I remember is we went to my family. We went on a vacation to California for like a week or so, and then after that it was shut down. You know, in like February or March.
So any of your family, the musically inclined that kind of plays.
My sister writes and sings, and my brother's a singer and writes music. Yep, and my sister, she's bad. She's a good writer, singer, R&B singer. She's good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, is there anything? Oh, how'd you get I see you on Blue Canoe Records, and so Oh, I think the first artist I spun was Joseph Patrick Moore, a bass player or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how did you get connected with Blue Canoe Records?
This guy, drummer that I met playing gigs, Jimmy, what's his name? Oh my goodness. Jimmy Junebug Jackson. Yeah, he used to play.
I heard that.
Yeah, Junebug. He used to play with Jimmy Smith. He was with Jimmy Smith, but he was he grew up. He used to live in Atlanta, and he knew Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hooked me up with Joseph, and then we had built a relationship. Yeah, and so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but I think that was the first artist I think I had. But actually, I saw him on Amazon, I think, and so I had bought this selection that he had, and then I think they made contact with me. I don't know if they, sometimes because I'm on Spinatron, and you can some people, and I guess artists can, if they want to see if their music's spun, they can just look it up. Is that what it is? Because I know some have contacted me and said,
this, man. I just Spinatron.
Yeah, because there was a guy in Japan. So Shigeo Tamaru, and so he was writing me and said, "Hey, I'm seeing some," and I was like, "Well, so how did you find out?" He said, "Oh, I just looked up and saw you spit so that you had spit a selection of mine." But now before they had the CD Baby, whenever I would buy anything from CD Baby, those artists would see that you had purchased their music. So that's how a lot of artists used to contact me, from the CD Baby site, but they don't sell the music. And that the music is so competitive, especially like digital.
Yeah.
It's more digital competitive, I think, than the physical CDs, because a lot of young people, they do the cell phones and and they can locate things. But no, and I still like the physical CDs, whenever.
I do too. I think they sound better too.
Yeah, and so, but before the pandemic, I would get the CDs autographed. And so, but it was kind of funny when Kim Waters came here, because I told him, I said, "Now, Kim, you made all these CDs, so here's my markers." And so we didn't even get to the Streetwise and the smooth, and he has the smooth jazz plays. This different R&B artists that he does.
Yeah.
So I was teasing me. I said he's gonna have to get, next time he comes, he still got some this time for me. He's gonna have to get one of those. Remember they had the grips or something exercise? I was telling everybody, I said, man, I tired him out. I know his fingers, he's been playing. He played a little extra. So I was like, yeah, I'll let him off the hook on those other ones. He signed all his the regular Kim Waters CDs that he had. And he got what, 17, 18 regular CDs.
Oh wow.
Now it's Streetwise and the Sax Pack and and so I know his daughter came here, Kayla. She came to Kansas City, and so when I said, "Yeah, tell your dad I'm still waiting on him to sign the rest of the CD." I said, "That's what he gets for making a CD. He's still making them."
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's killing it too. He sounds good.
Yeah, so I haven't been getting any CDs autographed, because of the pandemic. But we have some artists that come here. We have an 18th and Vine Jazz District and Negro Baseball League. So if you ever come here, and you get
I definitely got to come through.
I think our Raws had their Negro Leagues baseball uniforms. Last week they played the game. So they all have a tribute.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson. That's right.
Yes.
Jackie Robinson, before he went to L.A. That's what Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige. So
I didn't know that.
And Charlie Parker.
I knew
Charlie Parker. Count Basie and some of this other radio station. It's in the LJ. It's in the the Musicians Foundation building down in 18th and Vine. See, so that's the historical area down there.
All right.
Yeah. So if you ever come in, we have to see how everything's going, and they're trying to get some venues started. I'll put a word in for you.
All right, I appreciate you.
Maybe we can get you to come down.
I'd love to. I would definitely love to. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So you about ready to go to work now?
Yeah. Actually, I want to let you know I got a song coming out.
Okay.
At the end of the month with Greg Manning that I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Man, he's getting around.
Oh yeah, he's tough. He's tough.
Yeah, he's getting around.
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah.
He's everywhere. And actually, this one of the bass players that I first played, spun, Felicia Ray is on that list. Well, when I looked up on YouTube, well, actually, when I looked on Amazon, I had found her before they sent me the music. So I inquired about this new bass player, and it had Judah Seeley was the record label. So I looked, and it had on YouTube, now had her last name is Seeley.
Oh, is that his wife or something?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it said Felicia Ray, and then when I looked on YouTube, it said Seeley, and then another guy had her in a show or something like that. I think I was looking on LinkedIn or something, and so it had Seeley on there. So I was thinking, oh, okay, because I seen the record, the label, and I remember I played, spun Judah Seeley. So man, there are a lot of sax players.
Oh yes, sir.
There's a lot of and when you talk about what in Kansas City here, we got two bass players, Julian Vaughn and Blair Bryant. But when you talk about jazz, I was looking at an article on Amazon, and it says usually male saxophone dominated. The genre, but man, it's changing so much now. Because I remember Julian was telling me he was gonna play the song in church, and he said he was gonna lead bass. We thought, you gonna do what? So I was like, oh man, you must never heard of Stanley Clark, man. What you mean? So he always has me laughing when he tells me that story, because he goes to his parents' church. I'm a grandfather's and things like that. So is there any other? Thanks for the opportunity. And before we go, I know you told me you have some new music coming with Greg Manning. Is there anything else you would like to tell our Kansas City audience?
I got nothing. I just keep listening. Let's keep supporting live music, and that's about it. And everybody stay healthy out there.
Oh yeah. I told Mr. Walker I'm still gonna wear my mask. I know I've been vaccinated, but
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And you stay safe. I was going to tell you now, Mr. Walker, besides manager, the owner of the radio station, and oh man, at the where our radio station located, WB Du Bois Learning Center, you can go to that, like if you're on LinkedIn, or you go to that website, and we tutor kids. We got the pandemic, so we kind of do it on Zoom, but reading, STEM, math, science, and Mr. Walker does the Black Family Technology, also does robotics, and they have robotics competition and Lego competition.
Wow.
So yeah, he does, and he has a old school R&B radio show. See, back in the day, I was trying to remember. He said he was DJ Scatter, so that's what he goes by, man. So if you tune in to KUAW, I think he's on either Tuesday. I think he's on Tuesday, around 2 or something like that. So yeah, if you want to listen to some old school R&B, and sometimes I'm in the station and he's telling me, you know who that is? And I'm like, I remember the song, but I can't remember it. But man, he plays some, man. I'm like, man, I heard that in a long time. So you have to check his show out.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Thanks again.
Thank you again.
You have a nice day, and looking forward to still spinning your music and spinning that new selection that you got coming.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks, and you stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Prayers.
Bye-bye.